Hello everyone, happy Saturday. I love you. I'm sending you a very big virtual hug wherever you are on the earth plane in this now moment. Let's talk about fear. Okay, it's the largest consciousness next to love. We have been consumed by this consciousness most of our lives. And this consciousness is the underbelly of almost everything that we are seeing unraveling right now. Greed, control, manipulation, censorship, lack, chaos. Underneath all of that is fear. Fear literally dictates this entire planetary existence, just like love. And so what happens with fear, this is how smart fear is, okay? It's tricky. It pulls you out of who you are. It tells you what to think. It tells you what to feel. It tells you what to believe. It creates a false sense of reality. It creates a false version of you that you play in, that you believe. We believe fear. If we are told that something is bad for us, we believe it. We believe when people give us information that is based in fear. And our entire world right now, externally, is playing in a huge amount of fear consciousness. And why is this happening? Why is fear so important to look at? Because it is the largest consciousness that holds the lowest density that we are stepping out of. There's nothing wrong with fear. Fear isn't a bad thing. It's a consciousness that's existing just like love. But when you shift an entire human collective from a lower state to a higher state of frequency, you have to move out of the lower states. And the most prominent, potent, powerful, and sort of all-consuming consciousness that we don't even realize we are in is fear. This is how tricky fear is. You don't even realize that you have been programmed by fear. Many of us don't even realize that our behaviors, our beliefs, and our emotions have been programmed by fear, that fear is actually controlling us. It's insane when we start to dissect fear. Fear has the entire planet right now thinking that if they wear a mask, they're going to save the world. Fear has the entire planet thinking that if I jab myself with some chemicals that aren't FDA approved, somehow I'm going to save myself and the entire world. Fear is what makes the human believe that. Fear, the consciousness of fear, that is how powerful it is. Fear will tell you not to leave a relationship. Fear will tell you to stay in a job you hate. Fear will tell you that you can't have abundance. Fear will tell you that you can't travel. Fear will tell you that you have to suffer and struggle and that you don't have choice. Fear will tell you that suffering is normal. Fear will tell you that you have to work really, really hard and you still might not get what you want. Fear will keep you caged. Fear will keep you out of sovereignty, power, choice, your voice, freedom, who we have been designed to be in this human journey. Fear pulls us out of that. And so we have got to get so super clear right now on every time we feel fear. Because the moment you feel fear, fear is going to tell you what to think. Fear is going to tell you how to be. Fear is going to tell you what to feel. It's going to tell you how to be. It's created this other sort of illusionary version of you that we've been. Our whole lives, we've been dictated by fear. And fear can look like safety. Fear can look like control. Fear can look like pretty stuff. Fear can look like all these things. But when you get to when you peel back everything that you've been doing in your life, have you been doing it from an aligned, empowered, sovereign choice place? Or have you been doing it from an underlying bubbling up of fear, an underlying consciousness of fear? And the more we can get humbly honest about this, the faster we will be able to shift ourselves out of fear, and the faster we can shift the human collective out of fear, because fear has a powerful grip on the human, a very powerful, zombie-like grip on the human. It's insane how potent and powerful fear is. And all fear is a consciousness. That is all it is. All fear is a choice that you get to make. It's a choice. That's it. It's a consciousness just like love and peace and abundance, laughter. But it's tricky. It knows how to control a human. That's what fear does. It controls the human. And the reason we are seeing so much fear right now is because we are here to step out of it. So in every now moment, do you feel fear? When do you feel fear? And if you feel fear, what is it telling you to do? What is it telling you to think and believe? And what is it telling you to feel? And when you dissect all of that, ask yourself, do you want to? Do you want to think those things? Do you want to be those things? Do you want to feel those things? You always have a choice. It is time to step out of the illusion of fear, that we are victims, that these things happen to us, that it's not our fault, that I don't have a choice, that this is just the way it is, that I have no other options. That's fear talking to you. That's all fear. That's all a consciousness that we have been consuming since the moment we dropped into this human body. And we are not designed to live consumed with fear. We are designed to live as sovereign, empowered, powerful, aligned, centered, free, clear, creator beings, which means we no longer buy fear. We let it literally push it aside. It has no power over you. It doesn't have any power over you. The moment something comes in and it is fear-based, ask yourself, do you want it or not? And if not, push it aside. Come back to a sovereign, empowered, powerful place of being. Come back to you. Come back to your choice. Because you are not a victim to fear. And although we have been programmed by fear, mummified by fear, like zombies by fear, it doesn't mean we can't step out of it. It doesn't mean we can finally look at it and say, this is just a consciousness that I am no longer choosing to play in. I'm no longer choosing to allow it to dictate who I am, what I think, how I'm going to be, and how I'm going to feel. That's a master, and you are here to be a master. You're here to love yourself so much that you would never let fear tell you what to do, think, and be. Never. You're here to remember who you are. And when you start remembering who you are, fear would never be able to tell you otherwise. You're here to stand in your sovereign field and speak your truth. And if fear were to come in, there is no way you would let fear tell you what to say. This is what we are becoming. This is what we are stepping into. This is what we have to boldly, courageously, and humbly admit to ourselves. When do I have fear? When am I letting fear control me? When am I letting fear tell me what to think, feel, and do? Because the more that you and I can step out of fear and become the creator, master beings that we have always been, watching fear swirl around all the other humans, the faster we will be able to pull those other humans out of fear. Fear is like a web. It's like a cage. You don't even realize you're in it. All the humans you look out at in the external and you're like, how are they doing that? How are they doing that? Why are they thinking that? Why do they have 3 masks on? Why are they driving in a car with a mask on? Because they're in fear. They are literally consumed by the consciousness of fear, which controls them. It tells them what to think, it tells them what to feel, and it tells them what to do. And they don't even realize they're in it. And all of us have been there. Many of us are still there. And there's hundreds of millions that are in it right now. It is a consciousness like a swarm of bees that we have to recognize and in order to step out of. We have to recognize it. We have to choose other ways. We have to get so good at detecting fear that it never steps into our reality again, ever. I've practiced this today. The moment I started to feel just a tad bit of fear around something, my knee-jerk reaction was this behavior to do this certain thing. And I said, wait a second, this is fear. I've been dissecting fear for the last 24 hours. Hold on a second. What am I afraid of? And I got to the core of my fear. Get to the core of your fear, and fear can't control you. Get to the core of fear, and fear can't control you. It has nothing on you. Because the moment I got to the core of that fear, I was afraid of something. I then knew it was fear. It was a consciousness. It wasn't real. It wasn't true. So then I got to choose. What do you want to believe, Lori? How do you want to be right now? And I chose different. And I am in a completely different state now. Fear is not true. Fear is merely a consciousness. You get to choose whether you make it true or not. You choose whether you make fear true or not. You're giving your power to fear. You're allowing it to dictate your entire reality. Start dissecting fear in every now. Get to the core of what you may or may not be afraid of. Listen to what fear is telling you to think, do, be, feel, and then choose. Choose. This is how we empower ourselves. This is how we become the masters. This is how we step out of the matrix, and this is how we pull the entire human collective into higher states of consciousness. This is how you become sovereign. This is how you stay sovereign. And all the while, you have compassion and empathy for yourself, always. And for all the other humans that are navigating this, there's no right or wrong. Fear isn't bad. It's a consciousness that's in a frequency that has the ability to control an entire human collective. And we are not designed to be in it. We're not designed to be in it. We're designed to be free, always, and in all ways. I love you. Dissect the heck out of fear. Nothing wrong with you. Have compassion and empathy for yourself and others. Thank you for being here. I love you.